Hey guys, how's it going? Wilderman 500 here, and I bring to you another knife review. Alright, so this knife review is going to be on the Gerber Bear Grylls Ultimate Survival Knife. I really like this knife. It's actually pretty nice for the quality that's given. You know, the sheath isn't that great, but the knife is okay. I've only had the tip bend a little bit on me, but at least it didn't break. All I can really tell you is this is a pretty nice knife. Now let's get down and go over the specs. So this knife is a medium-sized knife, sports a 10-inch blade, and it's got 4.8 inches of cutting edge. It's a high-carbon steel. It's very similar to the 440B steel, and this knife is a little bit smaller than the Gerber Prodigy, or larger, and this blade is also a little smaller than the Gerber LMF2. As for the handle is a injected molded plastic handle with an overmold, durable rubber, which is very grippy. In my opinion, I really like this handle. It's actually really grippy. And the reason I wanted to do a knife review on this knife is because I did a little bit of work to it, and we'll get into that after I go over the sheath. So, the sheath on this knife. It's actually okay. It works. Definitely. On the back here you have your signals for when a plane flies over or what have you. And your light signals for the, what is it? It's the Alpine Rescue signal. And you have ground and distress signals. It's pretty handy. The sheath is made in China. It's got a fire steel right here, ferro rod or a ferrocerium rod, whatever you want to call it. Kind of hard to get out, which is good. There's that for you. I've used it quite a bit, doing some tests on it. I've had this blade for about 4 months now. Back into the sheath. So right here under the Bear Grylls, you have some Velcro, and then you got this knife sharpener. I guess it's a diamond knife sharpener, I don't know. But anyway, you can take the actual sheath off so you can run it separately, like that, and then you put it back on like this. Maybe, if I could do this. And you Velcro it back up there and put this back up here like that, and it's pretty simple. I'm just OCD about my Velcro being straight, kinda. Didn't put it too straight because got a video to make. Alright. And this is also ambidextrous, so you can do it that way, or you can do it that way. Now let's get into the knife, shall we? So I have done some work to this knife. I didn't like the serrated edge that was on it. It actually bothered me quite a bit, so I took it off. That side's a little rough because I have to finish honing it, but this side's alright. This is eventually going to be one infinite curve right here, like it'll be smooth and nice. But it actually is pretty sharp down here. And yeah, I took the finish off a little bit, kind of two-toned it a little bit. Like it better that way. And yeah, it's a little dirty because I've been starting fires with this. And yeah, the tip only bent on me a little bit once, but I bent it back as best I could. Now it's seeming okay. This handle, it's actually really kind of grippy to me, in my opinion, and I like it. It's got a fire striker right here, 90-degree bevel right here, so that you can really get those fires started nicely. This knife is for a larger handed man. I don't have large hands, I have medium hands. It fits okay, but the finger choil is a little big, so like if I want it to fit I have to hold it kind of like that. But yeah, it actually chops pretty good. It's a good grip for chopping. And if you want to even choke farther down on it, that's fine, because it actually has some curvature in the handle, like that. And this little bevel down here, it's pretty nice for your hands when you're holding it to chop. You got your pommel on the bottom. It's a pretty solid pommel. Actually works pretty good. And yeah, you got some holes right here for lashing it to a pole for a spear. I don't know. The steel doesn't break on it, I'm glad. But they could make it like a 1095 steel. But Gerber wouldn't do that because people don't know how to take care of 1095 steel. I'll actually go get a knife that I recently got made of 1095 steel, and my friend did not know how to take care of it. I'll be right back, guys. So here we are, back again. Now this is a knife that I traded a knife for, kind of a barter. My good buddy, he had this knife and I really wanted it for a long time. I needed a neck knife, you know. So I traded him. It was a Gerber. It was a Gerber hunting knife with a gut hook. It was a decent knife. Yeah, I beat the crap out of it and it lasted. It held up. But yeah, I traded him for this knife. This is the SE Kanduru, and I really like this knife. But anyway, moral of the story is he didn't know how to take care of it. I actually do need to clean it because it's kind of messy right now. But I actually really like this knife. Review coming up on that one soon. And yeah, that knife there was really rusty. Did not like that, so I told him I needed it. He gave it to me. Moral of the story is I have that knife instead of a crappy Gerber knife, and it's definitely worth it. That knife is like a $50 knife, and the Gerber knife is like a $30 knife, $37 from Cabela's. But he needed a hunting knife anyway, so I told him I'd trade him. He was going to try and skin an elk with that knife. I told him he was crazy, because I don't know. Seems like this knife holds a pretty good edge, though. This knife, on the other hand, holds a pretty good edge. And if it doesn't hold the edge for you, you always have that sharpener in the back of the sheath right here. And yeah, that's going to wrap up my knife review. Hope you guys have a great wilderness day. See you in the next knife review.